So recording of the
Okay, so we're going to walk through basically how I set up my repo and linked it in the project, and just a quick overview of the flow that I used. So we'll just start it off. Everybody knows creating a new repo. I'm going to throw this one as private so that it doesn't just corrupt it or just make things confusing. And we already know how to do the things. So I'm going to just open up a side client and get that knocked out. There we go. So all I did was just make sure that we're connected here. This should probably have no code in it. Okay, so let's just make sure. Okay, so we've got our repo. So effectively, like what I was talking about, when we had our user stories, the first thing we did was we bring them in and we bring all the user stories and create issues with them. So effectively, we go and then you put your, design docs, whatever helps you detail out the feature. You create your issue. Now, currently this one doesn't have any projects, so what we'll do is, where did I create the project from? There we go. So we create a new project. I didn't really use, I don't think I used any templates. I don't remember. Start from scratch, and this is where I just built the table from. Okay. Oh, because mine's done by recently, or most common, or most used is what I did. And that's not there. So I'm gonna try to see if, oh, we have to name the project. Here's your options down here. This is where we were talking about the difference between it being private, public, and whatnot. And Kara and I, when we were looking at it, I don't remember where I saw the warning that the project would be open to everyone or would have write access to everyone. That was apparently not the case. But I did start this as a private project. You can just easily switch it to public, and now it's available with the repo. You can go through, you can set all your access, so you can set the people who you want to be able to contribute to the statuses of the different things on your project. And is this going to get me there? Yes. There we go. So we've got our issue. Now we want to go ahead and start working on it. One thing that's just good practice is make sure your issues are assigned. And when you hit this button over here, you'll see all of the projects that you have. So you can have multiple projects to the same repo. I don't know if later Francisco and Adam can comment on repos that have multiple projects or how that structure would work. I'm just unaware of it. So I've been using just the main project that I've assigned. And this create branch button only pops up after you've already submitted the issue. So it's got a ticket number 1. You can put your additional information and how I've been documenting my process of any of the challenges I run into, design decision changes, or just general notes to help me remember the flow. I add it to the issue so that I can come back to it later if I'm ever asked. And it's there for everyone else to understand. So just remember, like it's been said multiple times, your code is there for everyone else. So are the issues. Everyone needs to understand what caused the issue especially when you're dealing with bugs. What steps to reproduce the bug, what the error was, all of the information you need. And that really helps you try to remember what challenges and how you solve that problem, especially the more obscure ones. Like I have an intermittent error that's running in my current project that I was able to get it would pass, but I think it has to do with something I'm not dealing with an API call. One of the responses may be coming back garbled or for some reason. So here I'm creating the branch. You get this option. You have a couple different options here. Pretty much, I feel the best ones to check out locally. So we'll create the branch. It gives you this pretty easy code or pretty easy commands. I just end up copying them. I usually have my VS Code open, but if you pop that in there, now you see I'm in that branch. It's effectively the commands that we were talking about with the Git workshop and everything. And now you can go through and write your code. So we will there we go. And then we'll just edit the file. So there's your modifications, do your adds. And just like normal. So now let's say all of your information, all of your modifications are done. You've run your tests. You're you've submitted your test evidence. That's where I like to put it in the comments of the issue to show that I've gone through, done my tests and verified my modification didn't break anything, my modification works, etc. And you want to make sure that you're referencing which tests in there too. That's kind of crucial. And I think we've seen this button before when we were doing the early Git workshop. It'll let you know that, a branch has got an update to it. In case you don't have that, you can always run over here to pull requests. We can hit a new pull request. And what you want to do here is you want to compare it to the branch you intend to merge. So what it'll do is it'll run its comparison, let you know that you can create a pull request. Here's your changes. Put your comments in. Usually when you have, in my case, being that I'm working this solo, I duplicate my test evidence, but I put it in here too, so that you can reference it from effectively the pull request and the issue, so you can track it all the way down the line. It may be overkill, but overkill's better than no kill.
Yeah.
So we'll run the pull request. It's going to check for merge conflicts here. Usually when you're dealing solo, you're not going to run into merge conflicts. It's been a while since we played with that stuff, so I don't remember it offhand, but we'll probably review that or have Adam and Francisco detail that stuff later. But I have no merge conflicts. Adam did recommend going through and checking stuff like, here's the files changed, make sure the stuff that you want in there is in there. Is like, there's been times when I've been ready to do my pull request, but I forgot to push one of the files. So double checking that's always pretty much a necessity. Check your commits, make sure the last commit that you had is in there. And then when we're ready to merge, we merge it. You get the double confirm. Usually this goes through review, and I didn't assign myself. By assigning it and attaching it to the projects, I'll show that in a minute. But that'll make it, that's what tells the project that it's part of it, and it'll show up in your table. And this will set it as a done status. But now this pull request is effectively done. You can still add comments in case there's something else you've got going on with it, but I would never reopen the branch. If you have a subsequent issue, create a new issue and link it. So the branches are separate on what was going on and everything. That's just how I've kind of been dealing with it. So now you can see the issue's gone. So when we completed the pull request, the issue's solved or marked as resolved. And now we see all of that stuff's in here. And you see, I didn't have to go in and manually set any of this stuff. This flow just kind of goes.
Just by assigning the project.
Yep, assigning the project, because the project is your task. That's the project is for stakeholders interested in the status of the project. It's the stakeholders are not going to go through, they're not going to go dig through your code, they're not going to dial down with the issues. They need graphs, they need KPIs to be able to communicate to clients or whoever depends on, the status of your project for subsequent projects or whatnot. The last thing is always make sure you're back in main, and then you get, so we see here, we don't have our test file. You always want to pull it. So that brings our local main up to the same status as the main on the repo. And that's effectively the process I've been following the entire time. So you can see, we don't need that. For my repo, I've done that for all of these branches. And after I'd say after 2 or 3 iterations, it just becomes muscle memory because it's not that many more tasks. Any questions? Anybody want to see anything? Yeah.
Great presentation.
Overview's nice, but it's getting fingers in that actually drives it home, I would say.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that video a couple times, but you make it look easy and kind of magical. It's pretty neat how it all just comes together.
Wow. Look at how many times I've done it. So that's a key right there too. Like I said, it just felt so natural, and maybe it. Keep in mind that a majority of us are from the military or in that kind of mentality, this is just a process. That's all it is. It's just like react to indirect fire. It's just like the process of first formation. All it is just another process. And it's, once you understand it and follow it, it's just like everything else we've done. It's just muscle memory. Anything else?
No, but I will just add that I and my team had a manager and several executives that would love something like this, because trying to get a large organization to adopt this kind of thing is crucial for change, and also documentation. And one of the biggest challenges was getting people to actually use the same methodology when it came to tracking issues, going through change management, and in fact, I could probably use that for my difficult person question today. But yeah, getting people to adopt a methodology of tracking is hard, but it's crucial for the success of an organization.
Yeah, we ran into the same style of issue when at my previous job we merged with another rail manufacturing company,
Oh my.
and they did things. They literally did their task tracking out of a Word document.
Oh gosh.
Yes, I'm
I thought you were
not.
going to say
Yeah,
Excel, but that's even worse.
no, it was a Word document. It wasn't even Excel. And
Oh.
we
Oh.
were looking for tools that the company, our main company, had, the company that had did the acquisition, we had tons of these great tools if you were on the official network. But during the merger, a merger takes years to execute.
Uh-huh.
The
And
branch,
different domains talk to
the
each
shop
other.
we were at was still
Yeah.
on the old network,
Oh.
and they didn't have access to any of the new network stuff because that infrastructure just wasn't in place. So
Yep.
we had to basically snatch up these little patch style things to try to get that workflow and get these guys used to what the official workflow would be once the main system actually hit. We used a product called Airtable, which that's where I got my design behind utilizing the table and the from. We used Azure DevOps boards, which you can see inside my
Familiar with them.
project. My project, it follows effectively what the default boards in Azure look like. So this was just a culmination of separate tools we were using in my previous job. It's just really beautiful that they're all here together and they're connected to the repo. So when you set the status in the issue, it just cascades down the line for your updates. Is
Yeah, and
everything
it's
we were doing being separate, we had to manually go set everything. So that was a long process, but the tracking needed to be there so that we could get our KPIs to understand where we were.
and managers and leadership love that.
Stakeholders. That's the
Stakeholders
key right there.
especially. Yeah,
Stakeholders, yeah.
stakeholders. They used to call them caretakers in my organization, so
Yeah.
that included everybody, including outside folks. And then lastly, that actually looks very much like a Kanban board.
Yeah, I know we
Prior
were
one,
talking about,
moving it
we were
over.
talking about that on the side. And I do believe that is I kind of look at it as a very basic Kanban board, but yeah, it's nice, it's visual, it's intuitive, it helps us understand what's going on really quickly without digging through too much.
Yeah. So great demo, and really impressed with this. So thank you.
Yeah,
And
no worries.
I'll stop recording unless anybody has
Yeah.
questions that they wish to add and have recorded.
Going once, going
The silence
twice.
is deafening.
Sold. Go ahead and shut it.
Okay. All right, let me make sure. Where'd my button go?
Yeah, this is awesome, DJ. Thanks for sharing.
And I was talking to my local dev about using GitHub